success stories told by the people who lived them.
We're going to have some guests on this show that everybody knows, and we're going to have guests on this show that nobody knows yet.
One by one, Nick Hyder is adding hits to the hit streak.
Blessings, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Hit Streak. I'm your man, Nick Hyder, and I've got an extra special treat for you in the Hit Lab with me today. Folks, this is a tech entrepreneur. He's only 23 years old. Came all the way from Scottsdale, Arizona to Nashville, Tennessee to be on the episode today. He is a friend of mine. He is the co-founder of FleekSleek, an amazing company, an amazing tech company. My pal, my buddy, Michael Gombert. How we doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Honestly, the flight here wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
You guys move faster. Like, I was stuck in traffic getting to the airport longer than the flight was.
I think so, too. So I got there, and they're like, oh, it's only 3 hours. I'm like, okay. I thought it was going to be 4. And we got there in, 2.5?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. So I was a little surprised there.
You guys were literally floating, like, quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Very quickly.
That's right. So, we were talking yesterday when you got into town. Like, it's nice weather right here in Nashville. It's incredibly warm. It never happens at this time of year. Folks, I may have been close to 40 years old when I figured out that, like, out in the West, the Midwest, Vegas, Arizona and stuff, that it actually, like, gets cold.
Yeah.
And you showed me a picture of a Santa Claus hat on a cactus. I guess that was in your front yard for Christmas?
That was my parents' house, yeah. There's a little cactus with a little Santa hat on top of it. So just gotta keep it warm.
Ho, ho, ho.
I love it. Yeah, Arizona's interesting. My cousin Nick, he's from Cincinnati. He came out here for the Reds. Mm-hmm. And we brought him up northern Arizona, probably 3 hours. But from a span where I live in Scottsdale to Payson, it snows in Payson, like an hour and a half away. He was very shook on that. He goes, there's snow up here? I go, yeah.
Yeah, dude. It
snows up there.
Like when we were in Vegas last beginning of February, like it's a different kind of cold. It's very dry, but it was cold at night. It was 50 and sunny during the day, but it was cold at night.
Were you guys inside Vegas or outside of Vegas staying?
We spent some time with Brad and his crew at Lightspeed, but we were staying at Resorts World. That's my spot.
I love
Vegas. Resorts World. All the some buddies of mine did all of the the digital displays on the outside of the building. They did a lot of the stuff in the nightclub inside and all that kind of stuff. Big guys in the design of that place.
I haven't been to Vegas since we played in the Vegas Bowl because I just never want to go back.
Yeah, I like Vegas.
Really, I don't know why. I just didn't like it.
I just like Resorts World a whole bunch too. And
I've never been there. Maybe I gotta check that out.
It's a good spot. They got a great theater. We were in Vegas last time. My buddy's a massive Lionel Richie fan, so we went and saw Lionel Richie at the Wynn in Vegas. And then we took the crew there in August, I guess. Right? Was it August? We had a good old time. So it gets cold in Arizona.
It does.
So you came. It's warmer here, I guess, than it is there right now.
I think last time I looked, it was at 44 degrees in Arizona right now.
That's
it was
crazy.
60 today here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're packing for Nashville, even if it's like 2 or 3 days, if it's not like June, July, or August, you need to pack 4 seasons of clothes just in case.
I brought 4 different jackets. Like I brought like a nice little hoodie, like a light one, a harder hoodie, but a thicker hoodie.
Yep.
A thermal hoodie, and then like this jacket.
Well, it looks good. I like it.
Appreciate it.
I like it. All right, so you are 23 years old.
Yes.
Incredible. But you've been in your space for over a decade.
Yep.
Now, my math's not awesome, but so I have a 13-year-old son.
Yeah.
So when you were his age, you were already making your first money through YouTube, correct?
Yes. So I started digital or video when I was in 6th grade. We did a PSA for hurricanes. I just moved from Texas. We just had one. I was like, oh, perfect. Let's do a PSA for that. We did it for a class. I love the whole entire process. Filming, editing, telling a story. And I was like, okay, I want to do this. So got a camera. Parents bought me one for my birthday. But they wouldn't let me post anything on YouTube until I was 13.
Gotcha.
Which I should have just completely just made my own account and not tell them. But so when I turned 13, made my YouTube account that same day, started posting videos. They came out with their partnership program. and I signed up for it. And I looked at my AdSense account, it was like 88 cents. And I was like, hold on, I just made money making videos on YouTube. This is awesome. Never saw the 88 cents. You have to have like $100 to get a payout. And I wasn't getting thousands of views. I was maybe getting like a couple hundred. But yeah, it was cool seeing that.
Dude, that's incredible. I know my son loves YouTube.
Love it. I still love YouTube.
It's fantastic. So is it the top search engine in the world right now?
Second. So Google's first. Obviously, they own YouTube.
Right.
But I go on YouTube more than anything else to search for stuff.
Absolutely. It's a very powerful tool to establish yourself as a expert in whatever it is that you do, and market your services.
One thing I learned the past few months is India is the largest user of YouTube. So if you're looking at like the top creators like Mr. Beast, obviously is one of the best ones. He makes all his videos in different languages to hit those different areas. So it's interesting to think some people are so small they think it's just United States or British Columbia or anywhere else. It's everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, for all we know, the internet doesn't stop here.
No, it goes everywhere.
On this, even on this, I guess, how can you get Wi-Fi on the whatever it's called, the space, golly, what is it called?
I haven't know. Oh, was it, is it the Elon Musk thing? The, Star?
I know they definitely have internet.
Yeah, they do.
There, but the International Space Station. That's
yes.
it, the
100%. Everywhere.
So they've got Wi-Fi up there.
I'm afraid to go on cruises not to have it, but I feel like they have Wi-Fi.
They do.
Yeah.
And you can buy the good part. We usually don't unless we do, but it's only to FaceTime the kids, because when we go on the boat, like being that disconnected for a small amount of time is very liberating.
Oh, I bet.
I highly recommend it.
I need to. But I'm always go. And I'll be like, all right, chill weekend, 2-3 days. All right, now I'm back on it.
It takes me 2 or 3 days just to like make that okay with myself. Like that's, you know what I'm saying?
I just take a shot with just shot of tequila or a nice glass of whiskey. All right, I'm chilling.
You're chilling? I'm
on it.
Well, we'll have to go on a boat together and we'll let you experience it, right?
I love it.
All right. So talk to me about your company. You're a co-founder of FleekSleek, right? Yes. Love the name, by the way.
Thank you. Raymond Christopher Reggie Jr. is his full name. I met him 4 years ago. He helped me with my own website.
Okay.
And the first day we talked for 3 hours.
He's brilliant.
Love him. Probably the smartest guy I know. Like, I trust other people, but I trust him more than anyone else. Mm-hmm. And so he made my website, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. Easy system. Boom. I was like, hey, I have other people that need websites. And we just kept making websites after websites after websites. We're like, all right, let's start this. Like, let's start a digital company. He had a company called Digital One that just does SEO, and I was doing what I called MGJ Media, which I just did video. We're like, okay, let's partner together. Mm-hmm. We need SEO, we need videos, photos, content to make a website. So let's just make a company. And he came up with the name FleekSleek, and I was like, that's a great t-shirt company. He goes, no, it's a digital agency. I said, we need an LLC, so let's do this. And we just kept the name ever since. I think I'm wearing the shirt right now.
That's right. Well, it stood out to me when I first met you guys, and you guys are like a very dynamic pair. Mm-hmm. Like you complement each other extremely well. Like where your strengths and his strengths are a little different, and like that really makes for from a guy that works with you and wants to become a client on some other things. Like it's a pretty awesome situation you guys have going.
Yeah, so everything like I have strengths in, which is like the front end, the social, the paid ads, and content side, I have strength in. He's very smart with the SEO, website, any type of back end stuff. He's very good with. So we have our good departments. We manage different people, and it just pairs really, really well.
Absolutely. Well, I can speak from experience, and it was a good experience.
That's what we like to hear.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are building out CRMs, mm-hmm. All the different types of data and how to utilize those and monetize those and make those people's strengths, which most people do not. Mm-hmm. Most companies do not, especially the smaller ones. So we're going to use that a lot about data. Like, what are all the types of data when people reference data when it comes to their company or whatever it is? What are different types of data?
So, there's different types of data. I think when people think of it, they automatically think of their names, their emails, their phone numbers, etc. from there. Well, when we look at marketing data, right, I always think of pixels. So we have Google Analytics, we have Facebook Pixels, TikTok Pixels, Pinterest, LinkedIn, all that. All it does is collect information for people coming to your site. So let's say we're doing an advertising for a e-com company, and there's different events that happen, right? And I have, say, 1,000 people go to that site. I can tell Facebook or Meta now, hey, can you find people just like the 1,000 people that came to my site? Go target people just like them. I can do the same thing with purchases. Like they can look at the 1,000 people and go, hey, majority of those people like short shorts. Let's go target other people that like short shorts. And that's like the biggest thing people think of when they're thinking data. That's why we always recommend putting those pixels on your site right away, because it matures it and gets smarter and smarter over time.
I told you, folks. I told you you're going to enjoy this one. So once again, we're talking with Michael Gombert, the tech entrepreneur and the co-founder of FleekSleek. Folks, you need to check him out online. He's going to make it really easy for you, right? Instead of me rattling out all of his social handles, you can just go to michaelgombert.com/links and find them all right there. Give this cat a follow. Keep up with all the stuff. They're putting out gold with more coming, right?
Appreciate it.
Awesome. So, all right, we'll do that with lots of different types of data, and and all of them have different purposes for monetization and growth, right?
Exactly.
So, check it out. Over the years, Michael has moved into different spaces, e-commerce, credit card processing, to build out products and services and capabilities for all the above. You know, like you said before, FleekSleek is a full-service digital marketing agency you guys serve a variety.
Everything. Website, social, paid, graphics, media, video, photo, SEO, everything.
Man, honestly, it's such a large topic. We could sit in here for 2 days and never run out of stuff to talk about, right? So a lot of our audience are we have a lot of startups and a lot of veterans alike, right? But everybody can do a better job with their data management.
Exactly.
And it's because of new trends. It's always changing, right? So if what you got on the web is, you know, I mean, how long is if mine's have been there the same, I haven't changed it in 6 months. Is it already dated? Have things already kind of shifted?
So if you look at different platforms, like honestly, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of them, they change every few weeks, right? People talk about algorithms, people talk about trends, and that's what it is. It's a trend, right? So when we're looking at, you have to keep up with it. And sometimes it's very difficult to keep up with it, but there's certain metrics to look at. People talk about, the algorithm's changing. Well, it's just getting better and smarter and what people want. They want to get your attention, right? So the two things we look at is that click-through rate for YouTube or the watch rate. So, and also your average view duration. That's all they really care about. They care how long you're on my site or on our platform, and are you liking it? And they can see kind of what you like. My Instagram feed is going to look different from your Instagram feed to my girlfriend's Instagram feed to my dad's Instagram feed.
Right.
My dad's
they're unique, right?
So it's like, I just get smart over time. And there's certain trends. Like I got tired of the song saying, or not the song, but the sounds like 2022 is coming to an end. I kept scrolling, saying the same thing. I'm like, I'm getting tired of this thing.
Yeah.
And so that's what they care about, is how long can you stay on this until it switches.
That is the name of the game, right? It's engagement.
Yeah, and that's why I love clickbait. It's huge for you. We talked about YouTube before this. It's like all it matters is your thumbnail and your title. And changing little tweaks, so it's going to be a huge difference, different colors. And you can use AI heat maps to figure that out as well.
So some people are going to immediately, what you just said will be many people's first time hearing a statement like that with those words in it, right? So say that sentence again.
Which one? I feel like I saw a lot.
What they're looking for on the thumbnails and stuff like that. The hot points.
So when it comes to everyone wants to hear the drama, right? Everyone wants to hear what they want. A lot of people are now switching to value. So if you're looking at different trends, and looking at YouTube 10 years ago to looking at YouTube now, a lot of it was entertainment back then. It was a lot of just cool little skits, funny videos. Smosh was a huge thing back then. Annoying Orange was huge. It was just entertainment. It was funny. We still have the funny stuff now, but everyone's looking for the value part, like podcasts. People love the podcasts. Like I've been obsessed with Andrew Huberman recently. So learning how to optimize my life. That's what people are looking at now. So that people are like, you can do cool, funny stuff, but adding value is going to be huge. So people are using the search engine of YouTube saying how to, or just different topics. That's what's going to make people click on your stuff because they want to learn. and have that value. But when they want to mess around, they can just watch a funny video.
Right. We've gone back and forth over the years when you hear about algorithm this, algorithm that. At the end of the day, here's my thoughts on it. I think if you're Instagram, you want people on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So you're going to put things in front of them to keep them there longer, which kind of proves your point, right? Mm-hmm. It's the same thing for all of them.
Exactly.
Right? Facebook wants you to spend more time on Facebook. YouTube wants you to spend more time on YouTube and TikTok and so on and so forth. What's all that? Do you have any comments on? We're hearing about TikTok, how over in China their feeds are drastically different from ours. They're trying to say that like our feed is built to make us dumber.
So I have an idea on that. So I feel like the person that said that, I think he came out and actually talked about that. He said it, but not sure that he actually knew what that was. So I could be completely wrong. I don't know much value about that, but I do know that everyone's a little bit different. So each platform is completely different from the next. Like I'm not going to look on LinkedIn looking for Instagram stuff. Mm-hmm. And so Gary Vee actually made a really good point on this. He goes, I just go where the attention is. And he talked about if TikTok goes away, no one cares because they're just going to go find the next value point. That's what you're always trying to do. Everyone's loving podcasts now. People are going to put in the podcast.
Yeah. What are, like, for us, we call them the big six, right? So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. Those are the six that we focus on the most right now. There's some other ones out there. You know, there's I'm starting to see more and more from Truth Social. Mm-hmm. What are some other ones that people might like? Pinterest is huge, but I've never been. My wife has an incredible Pinterest account. I don't have one.
We have one client, we do Pinterest stuff, and he does all food. Just meal prep. So we post on Pinterest there. But another one we're seeing that actually I think TikTok just copied was Be Real. So all it is throughout the day, you have 2 minutes, random times. It could be 5 o'clock in the morning, not going to be 5 o'clock in the morning, but like 9 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to say, hey, you have 2 minutes to take a picture. It takes a picture of your front and the back. So you can take where you're at and then a selfie. And you just post it. And it shows people being real, right? You can't like fake it. You can't like wait for them and be like, all right, I'm waiting for this to be real. You could. It'd be a waste of time. But you just take a picture, boom, post. That's all.
Gotcha. Have we done one of those yet? Is today the day? It might be that today might be the day. Folks, and stuff's always changing, man. It's amazing. It's crazy. And like how much you hear the guys that are killing it in digital marketing. They're just like anybody else. Like I don't think you can over promote. I don't think you can over advertise. Like I love it when people say, dude, in my feed, it's just all Nick Hyder. Like, I'm like, heck yeah, that means the team's killing it. That means the team's killing it, right? But we want to do more. Mm-hmm. I'm hearing right now that, like, you know, we do 2 to 4 posts per day and, you know, 8 to 15 stories per platform on all of them. But, like, you hear some guys that are being like, yeah, man, 4, we're about to amp it up to 5, 6. What's like the more the better, right?
So it just gives you more options, right? So it's like sales. The more you go after, the more chance you're actually going to get like a sale. So if you're posting, let me bring it back for a second. We had a client we're talking to, or a potential client, and we told him the price for our social. He goes, well, I only want like 3 posts a week. I'm like, then you're not going to get anywhere. And they're like, well, why is that? I'm like, because there's 10,000, you see over 10,000 ads a day.
Yeah.
What do you think? Your one post every 3 posts a week is not going to do anything.
You know, when you see the commercials on, which by the way, we've gone backwards when it comes to ads on TV shows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like 10 years ago, you could no longer record them you recorded them to your DVR or whatever it's called, your cable company, and then you could fast forward through the commercials.
Yeah.
And then started streaming. Commercials weren't there. Now they're back. We're back to like 1996 where you can't fast forward through commercials anymore.
Yeah. Like the Hulu, Hulu just came out with their ad manager. It's been out for a while, but they're in beta stage. We haven't played with that at all. We do have an account with them, but it's interesting the strategies there, right? I remember the first time I saw it, actually really saw it, was Super Bowl ad. I want to say it was last year's Coinbase. All they had for 30 seconds was a QR code. It just bounced.
That was brilliant.
And
that was on the Super Bowl.
It was on the Super Bowl. The site crashed on that. I'm going to try to get in. I was trying to win $1 million. I was like, just kept cooking it. And that was like one of those phenomenal ideas I think they had, because it piqued curiosity. And so that's what we're seeing on those platforms. Like they're using QR codes, which you can also track it using UTMs and stuff like that to see actually conversions. And it's an interesting topic people are going now. Like what Netflix is now going to come out with their own platform. It's a little bit cheaper, but you're watching ads on it. Like same with YouTube, they have a premium version where you don't have ads. So it's interesting, but I don't know the conversions with those off the top of my head because we've never done it.
All I know is like I see the same commercials over and over and over again. And at the end of the day, what's the difference between you marketing your business on social versus marketing on CBS? What's the difference? Okay, so with social, right, you can go and click on a person's profile and just scroll for days. You just see them. And when we talk about personal, you and I talked about personal brand extensively yesterday. And one thing I didn't bring up was when we get a new client in, or in our onboarding, I asked them, what if you can name your company or your personal brand in one word, what would it be? I just give me a few minutes to think about it, because it's easier to tell people, hey, I just do marketing, I just do sales, I just do insurance, than to go, well, I also do this. Like I got a lot of times we did so many different things: credit processing, e-com, digital marketing, video. They're like, I don't know what you do. And I was like, that's terrible for a personal brand. It happens a lot, right?
So you have to nail it down. And so if we're looking at like a brand wise, what's the one thing you're solving? So looking at pillow, that's for like side sleepers, you really want to push that one sentence over and over and over and replicate it everywhere. And now we're talking about like social versus like TV. Yeah. It's called omni-channel approach. I cannot leave. Like I see Mint Mobile everywhere now. Yeah. Like I cannot get rid of what YouTube video, see it on Facebook, everywhere. It's an omni-channel. I just see it over and over and over again.
That is how, like, even in the world of sales, you know, most of the time a deal is closed like on the 8th to 13th touch or attempt, right? It takes people time. People need time to digest, especially the bigger the price tag. Yeah. But like, you know, people buy from people they trust first. You know what I'm saying? So if you're new, there's a trust issue that has to be overcome. And you know, and a relationship that needs to be built so for trust, because nobody wants a one and gun, one time stop, and then you no longer work with that customer anymore. Exactly. Everybody wants the customers that you have for a long time, right?
And most of our clientele is referral based. Like we did a bunch in November.
You guys are killing it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we were a lot of websites, which is honestly fantastic. I always recommend people before they do anything, before they do social, before they do any type of advertising, get a good website. Like have a really good landing page, because that is your online salesperson. Yep. Because if you don't have that, you can't collect data. You can't have somewhere to go to learn more. You don't have your testimonials. Like we have a thing called COP. It's your creative, your offer, and then your proof. Yeah. So it's your social proof, right? That's what we look at across the whole entire thing. So when you're doing your website, you want to make sure you have all three of those things in there, because if you don't, you're going to lose consumers. I get really nitty gritty of like compressing your images and making your stuff mobile. It's go from there.
Well, you guys are, like I say, you're killing it. Everything you guys are doing is top notch right now, and it's been awesome working with you guys. So check it out, folks. Like in anything else, this happens a lot, and a lot of people approach the team here about launching a podcast, about getting some renting a studio, producing some digital content and stuff like that. We saw it a lot in the industry of insurance. We've seen it in even in real estate. A lot of times when people are shopping, they don't always do it, but like they do it sometimes where they want like the cheapest thing they can find. And I'm like, so if you go to a restaurant, do you find the cheapest thing on the menu and that's what you get every time? Did you go to the car lot and buy the cheapest car they had on the lot? Like when has that ever been enough for you and satisfactory? Like when was that a good practice for you in life ever? So, you know, you can have things when you buy something, it's either going to be good, fast, or cheap, but you only get two of them, right? So you guys are good. Yep. And you're also fast.
Very much.
Right? So
24-hour rule.
So is it fair to say that you're cheap for that kind of service?
It depends. The more you do with us, the cheaper it gets, but
there it is.
It's
relationships.
Well, it's interesting. So before I got on the flight to Nashville, we had a client we talked to, another client, 2 months ago, told them pricing, simple pricing. They came for us for 2 things, and we said that's not a good idea. Go do these 2 things, which pretty much their website and GBP. It's Google Business Profile is what GBP is, and didn't hear from them. And then randomly we get emails saying, hey, like, we'd love to talk more about it. So cool. Got on the phone with them. It was a 5-minute conversation. Hey, we talked to other companies. They were half the price as you guys, which I was surprised because the price we gave them was really, really good. But they're like, we liked you guys better. And I was like, well, obviously. And
hold on. There it is. That's right.
And that was really cocky. I can't say that.
No, but, I think that was confident.
That was confident.
And you know what? If your confidence or anybody's confidence offends you, like you have an issue with yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, especially what we do, we have so much proof behind it. And I can just say we do the best in what those things are.
I mean, being able to finish and deliver, mm-hmm. And give the customer a good experience. That's the one thing as a customer myself, it's been a great experience. And that's what I'm starting to see from everybody else. Like, you guys are growing at crazy rates right now. And it's like, folks, like you and your partner, Chris, you guys do not live in the same.
No, I met him
city.
Once in my life in person. It was on his wedding day, and I was his best man.
Just goes to show you, distance doesn't have to, distance is a hurdle that is not, it's more like a speed bump maybe. Mm-hmm. But it's all about communication and process and being able to follow those. Like, I still have yet to find it. We say this a lot here. Not one problem in the history of mankind do they look back and be like, they communicated too good and it caused that problem.
Communication's huge. And it's one of those things like, hey, like, I got sent to you. Like, I was on the phone yesterday with the client. He needed something changed on his website. On the phone with him, I slacked our channel. Hey, can we get this changed? On the phone call, 2 minutes later, done. And I told him, I was like, all right, it was done. He goes, that's why I love working. I love working with you guys. I was like, appreciate it.
That's right.
That's my favorite. That same client sent me a video clip of him like saying, thank you guys so much. And I was like, I sent it to the whole team. Everyone loved it.
Mm. Well, you and Chris are quite the dynamic duo, man. Like, it's literally like, both of you have totally different strength skill set, mm-hmm. and you just it's literally like the perfect storm that I've seen in quite some time. And Chris is brilliant in his own right.
Oh gosh, smart guy, extremely smart.
How did you guys, like, a relationship like that they're few and far between, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you guys like the morale and just the way that you guys bounce back and forth and hold each other accountable and all those things? Like, how did that work?
So it's an interesting story. I don't think I've told it many times, but so I met Chris. We did a lot of websites together. We were on the phone all day. It was during COVID. Like, we started this right when COVID happened. Mm. Like, I was at ASU. Like, we went through the whole thing. Like, I was doing classes. We were talking, everything. And decided to leave college and pursue what I was doing now. Didn't really need it. I was like, let's go. And when you always start a company, it's like, you're going to have the hard spots. Like, you're going to have to put money in. You might run low. And I had a phone bill I couldn't pay. And he's like, I'll pay it. I was like, really? He goes, yeah. I was like, I'll pay you back. Because we're doing so much stuff, he was just going to take out one of our websites. And I always tell him it's his best investment he ever made. was from that one phone bill. But yeah, that's how the trust really stayed, because we just kept working. We both had one solid goal, and that was to grow this thing and to do the best things we can. And so that's how that trust really grew.
Damn, that's awesome, man. That's killer. It's a great story. Talk to me about, so when you say the word dropped out of college, I'm a big believer in you don't quit things, you finish them. Mm-hmm. Some people go to college to figure out they go because what they want to do, that's required to do that, doctors, lawyers, and so on and so forth, a trade. But you went, how did you, did you finish or did you quit college? How would you say?
So it was interesting. So I went to college to play football at Arizona State. I was a walk-on there. I prefer walk-on, and played there for 2 years.
That's a big program.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think I learned a lot about business inside football, because the difference between high school and college, and then it goes NFL, I never experienced NFL, was it became a business. Those guys were getting paid, a lot of the coaches getting paid $500,000, $1 million to be a coach. They made sure it was on peak. You had everything you needed: food, equipment, nutrition, everything. So I learned the insides of business. They had a video crew, the marketing, the directors of like the business side. Learned all about that.
Dude, that's a great point. I don't know if I've ever given credit to my experience in the college ranks and in professional with all the business side of.
Yeah.
I talked about the business part and how I was not a good businessman as a baseball player when I was young, just due to immaturity. But like, you know, a lot of the things that I know today, you know, because our coaches would share with us, they would talk about like, you know, having to like get in the bus and having that in the butt. Like we had a budget. That was a big word you heard a lot, especially in a small NAI school where I went to school. Budget was a word that was used all the time. And like, you know, when you get Subway for your meal for the 14,000th time in a row, it's like the coach would just grin and be like, it's in the budget.
Yep.
You know,
it's in the budget. Can't go over it.
Learned a lot about business. That's a great point.
Mm-hmm. So I did a lot of that. Went to formal labrum. I just couldn't get right again mentally. Just couldn't perform. And they let me go. And I was like, okay, like let's just be a student. And I was in my junior year. I forget exactly what it is because I took summer classes. I don't know exactly where, but I was almost 20 years old. I think when I got into it, it was the month before 20. So it was actually about to be 4 years today. No, actually might be 4 years today in like a week or something like that.
Gotcha.
So stopped doing that. And all I knew when I left was video stuff and cameras. And so I called my mom. I was like, hey, can you go?
Said no football player ever.
I used to get called Hollywood in high school for it. But so I called my mom. I was like, hey, can you bring me a camera when you come pick me up? Because I had a whole entire like garbage bag of all my stuff. And she was, yeah. So I brought a camera. I was 6-7 years old at the time. So this first camera I started with. And I started vlogging at that point. I was like, that's all I knew. So I was like, all right, just start vlogging. Started making vlogs, started posting it. Another marketing company found me, brought me in. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this? I remember, I can make money on this. Okay, let's do this thing. And then still in college at the time. And I was so focused, just like, let's just do business stuff. Let's make e-com stores. Let's do video. And COVID hit. And I was honestly not very good at school. And, not good at school. I just didn't like it. And COVID hit. We all went online, which was terrible because I was distracted all the time.
Yep.
And so we were going to the next semester. I talked to my parents. I told my dad more. I don't know if my mom knows this story, so sorry, Dad, if she doesn't know this. He gave me a check for my last semester. I think it was like $5,000. And he goes, you can go back to school or you can take in, start your thing. And obviously I took the $5,000 and used that as a leverage to give me time to make. So pay rent, stuff like that, to then leverage to make more money.
Dude, how cool is that of your parents? Like, that's a great, like, that's awesome. Because, you know, most parents, a lot of parents, for at least people my age, you know, the world's changed so much since then. Back then it was go to school, go to college, get a job, get married, buy a house, in that order. You know, I don't know the statistics anymore, but like, how many kids graduate college every year, and I know there's not that many new jobs available. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, gosh, it's at the end of the day, you just got to look at it. I think I will tell my kids this too, like 4 years and a certain dollar amount. Is that if you were going to invest that time and that money, is that where you would put it to get a return?
That's why I keep thinking back to my kids. Like, I learned so much from my dad. My dad was a director of sales at a top company, Republic Services, and I was listening to his sales calls all the time. And my dad was a badass. My dad played football at Syracuse. I think him and his sister are the only ones that went to college. Other ones he lived on a farm, and that projected him to go to where he is now. And now I'm like, my dad did such a good job as a father. I say to my mom, I call my mom a momager because she just helped keep everything like leveled. Like, I didn't miss an appointment. She still does all my appointments still.
You can't disappoint mama.
I can't. I love my mom.
You cannot disappoint. You don't disappoint mama is what I should say.
That is very true. And so now I'm thinking, like, I'm gonna get older. I have an amazing girlfriend. Like, I want to start. I was telling you yesterday, I think one of my favorite things, or one of the things I'm looking forward to, is to become a dad. Like, I want to give back to what my dad did for me. And I thought about college. I was like, my girlfriend didn't go to college. She's 22 years old. She made 6 figures last year. Like, she didn't need it. She went to trade school. She was a hairstylist. And so now I'm like, okay, what do I do with my kids? Like, if they want to go to college, like, or they want to start something there, I was like, I'll support them no matter what. And so that's what I'm thinking too, is like, where would I, like, I'll pay for the college or pay for something. I was thinking, like, I'm gonna have them give me a whole entire PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
Like, you want to go here? Cool. Tell me why. You want to start this? Tell me why and how you're gonna do it. Almost like Shark Tank.
Why would you not make them want them to do a proposal? That's a great skill set, man.
I got I remember I told my dad, I was like, I'm not gonna go back. He goes, you sure? I'm like, yeah. He goes, your mom's not gonna like it. I said, I know. I was like, I got enough time to, like, another semester to show it's proven. Now she's like, okay, you're doing pretty well now.
I could say the same about my dad was always self-employed, and that came with some struggles. And my mom came from a house where my granddad retired from our armed forces. Was great with his money, was home every day at the same time. It was very systematic in a good way. And, so as a parent, you want to protect your kids, right? They're going to bump their heads, you just hope it doesn't cripple them or hurt them for too long. And, when, before we made it, we failed so bad and so many times that my mom was always urging me to go, like, just go get a job with create some security for yourself, which we did. And now she's my biggest fan and super proud. Right. But, like, I didn't understand. It felt like maybe not support, but it was just, now being a parent, it's like, I get it. Yeah. I get it. You're just like, it wasn't doubt, but it was just like, you got to have some security or else you're going to dig a hole so deep you can't climb out.
Exactly. Well, I always go back to my parents. My parents really set me up. Like, one thing for my mom, one thing for my dad. My dad told me once, he's like, oh, do you want to go to this football camp? I'm like 7th grade. And I'm like, no, I really don't feel like doing that. He goes, oh, you're going to stop playing football then. And I was like, what? He goes, well, if you're not going to be the best at it, then stop.
Man.
And I was like, okay, that made a lot of sense. I still remember that moment. And then
that's powerful.
Yeah. And then my mom, I was telling her, I was like, oh, there's a U of A football camp going on. And I think I was a sophomore or junior. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to go. And she goes, cool, I'll sign you up. I was like, oh, I guess I got to go prepare for this. And so, yeah, it's like the trust of, like, you want to do this, go do it. And don't stop until you, like, really figure it out.
That's it. That's the catch right there, right? We were talking yesterday and you said, basically it was like, why I work hard is because I figured out that the world doesn't owe me anything.
Oh, it doesn't.
Right? So what do you mean by that?
Doesn't, like, if you really want to move forward and actually feel proud, like, get those dopamine hits, like, it's going to take a little bit of struggle to actually get it. And it's interesting looking at dopamine in the science. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, so if I mess this up, I apologize. Looking at people that love shopping, right? The act of actually shopping, you get more of a dopamine hit than actually getting what you want.
Okay.
And that's the same thing with, like, working. Like, I love the chase more than actually what it gives you. And there's some people are not wired that way. Like, some people don't want to go out in the world and risk it. Like, that's fine. But the world doesn't owe you anything. Like, if you worked really hard on something, you didn't get it, you didn't get it. That's like, right. I shouldn't get, like, half credit. I shouldn't get anything. Like, you're not in the real world. If I didn't get that deal, I'm not going to get paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, the utility company doesn't hit you up before they send the bill. Be like, hey man, was it a good month?
No, they send you collections.
That's right. That's right. There's accountability. If you don't believe it happens here, I believe it happens when you leave here. For my faith purposes, right? So, accountability absolutely matters.
And life's so short. Like, I'm only 23. I'm like, I got a lot to live, but past like 3-4 years has gone really fast. And I'm like, well, let's just have fun.
I think as a parent now, I'm so grateful for holidays because when I look back, 6-7 years ago, that's all I can reference from memory unless something triggers something specific. Like, that's
exactly.
It's that everything goes so fast now. That's how we break up our life into chapters, is based on the holidays.
Yeah. Well, I go think back of football. Like, I really don't remember much from it. Not because I got hit, but like, it just like, I just don't remember much from it. I mean, like, little bits of it, like, we're in the cafeteria, we're in the locker room. Like, I remember running out the tunnel for the first time, like, to everyone. That was super cool. I never got that rush ever again. And so it goes by so fast. Like, those trigger moments, like, you're gonna remember those.
That's right.
More than I remember more of the fun things that happen more than the bad things. I still remember some of the bad things, but I always see those as like a blessing more than anything else. Like when I got cut from football, I was like devastated. Devastated? Was the word?
Devastated.
Devastated. I can't say it. I was terrible. I was like super sad about it. I remember crying. And then I was like, but everything happened for a reason, like the faith behind it.
Yeah.
Like I knew something else was going to happen. So when I started doing video, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always done.
Well, man, like, I was, God gave me a great piece of advice when my son was young. I started to realize that like a lot of it's going by fast, and you don't want to. There's all these little moments that you don't want to forget, and I still do. I do it with my daughter now, and I still do it with my son today. But I can still, they grow so fast, and it's hard to remember what they felt like when you held them. So like when Ethan was like maybe 2 years old and stuff, I used to like when I would hug him before bed, I would close my eyes and I would make myself make a mental note to just feel. I can still feel it today. It's one of the greatest gifts that I was ever. That I was ever given was the knowledge to know to do that. It's just like, man, it's not Christmas, it's not 4th of July, it's not New Year's, it's not whatever. It's not their birthday, but like, let me just get this moment on this random Thursday night, in June or whatever, to make sure you feel that. And there's a lot of things that you can do. I've done that here in the studio with podcasts. There's all these little things in business because you're always trying to set milestones. I live in the future, maybe a little too much.
I'm the same way. I'm like, I want to get this goal, this goal, this goal. And I didn't really think of like what. So I always try like planning vacations like every 2-3 months. So I have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I remember what it took to get to that point.
And I do it a lot. I'll be in the middle of a story and forget where I was going. It's because I'm already thinking so far ahead that I forget. You know what I mean? It happens. But you do. My wife tells me all the time, like, enjoy this moment. Enjoy the present too, because you worked your ass off to get it. I
have a buddy who has to remind me of that all the time. I'm like, go, 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 go. He goes, hold on, pause.
Yeah.
You good? I'm like, yeah. He goes, all right, sit there for a second. I'm like, all right, cool.
It's a sign of a champion, man. Derek Jeter said that in his documentary about how, like, as soon as the World Series was over, everybody's celebrating. He's already prepping for next year, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, tell me, what is some of the future for FleekSleek? What are you guys working on? What are you guys excited about? What are some new things what's the future hold for you?
We always try to optimize everything, right? If it's optimize the team, optimize the time. Like you said perfectly, PPP, like the product, people, process. And it was really good when you said that because I was like, this makes a lot of sense. So like we have great product. We have great people. We're bringing on more great people. Now we're just going to figure out the process, how to grow it more. Like keep that same product and that same like work and expand it bigger.
That's right.
And also working at other stuff. Like my end goal is I always want to be like an investor, like own a hedge fund myself and just become a venture capitalist. And that's kind of the goal. And Chris has the same goal. But we want to grow in that sense and really just learn as much as we can in our 20s.
Folks, that is gold. That is gold right there. It's, no matter what, a wise man once told me, if you're having problems in your life, it's either your plan or your effort, right? One or the other. Marcus Lemonis famously said in his on TV on his amazing shows that he dials all of his business down to people, product, process, right? So if you're having issues with your business, is it the people?
Yeah.
Is it the product? Or is it the process? And 9 times out of 10, it's process.
Exactly.
Right? It's process. It's framework.
And really niching down to like how you're going to do it. And like really keeping like, you said people, it's like the people trust people, right? And people like love people. So if you work with someone you hate, like it was a sales train person at the end when they weren't signing on, like, hey, people don't sign on for 2 reasons. One, they don't like the product, or they don't like the person selling the product. Is it me? And they go, well, no, it's the product. Okay, well, let's talk about the product. Maybe it's not the product for them. And I always suggest them. That reminds me of a cool story. I always tell everyone that does sales is there was a story of a guy who sold batteries, really big industrial batteries. And this guy came to him and he's like, hey, I'm looking for a certain type of battery for this certain type of thing. And he goes, honestly, our batteries aren't meant for that. I suggest going to this company. And the guy was like, oh, thank you so much. Guy went to the other company, bought it. Right? 7 years later, the guy comes back, works for a completely different company. And he's like, hey, like, we need batteries for our plant. Can you help me? Suggest you helped me so much before. The guy's like, yeah, actually, we just built these batteries, so it'd be perfect for that. Do you make him like commission on $1 billion deal to Apple? It was a 7-year difference.
That's powerful, isn't it? So I met you guys. If you're watching with us today, I have our show sponsor, RAC Financial. The hat's on the desk with me, right? Great people, a great company, great product. And in the world of credit card processing or merchant services, right?
Exactly.
You hear it from both ways. So you have experience in that, and that's how I met you, is working together in that. You guys have built out their RAC has got a growing and thriving, very powerful field force. And it's based out where you're in your neck of the woods in Scottsdale. Again, great people, previous guest, the COO, in Cole when he was on the show just a few episodes ago. Dude, talk to me about the journey with RAC, what you guys are excited about. And again, you guys built out the whole, we hired you.
Yeah.
That's how you came in first, but you were you guys have built out the CRM, you're helping out with the field force, a lot of the marketing, graphics, website, all these things.
Yep.
What are you excited about with RAC?
The growth with it. Love the people inside of it. It's we've done merchant processing before. We met RAC. And we got hired on through Dane saying, hey, we need to build this out, because he knew we did it. We knew tech, we knew APIs really well. So was it 350 development, almost 400 hours I think we put in already of the whole entire back end of it, really trying to optimize it. How can we get the process from having someone that's interested to getting people to save money? That's a simple process. And there's a lot of stuff in between, getting the void checks, getting the bank statement, not bank statements, the credit card statements or merchant statements. So that's what we were excited about, is helping a company that knew what they were doing and had great support, and helping them get the support in a digital aspect.
As a consumer, as a business owner and a consumer, I made the same mistake for years when it came to merchant processing, as so many people do when they pick out their health insurance plan. And here's what I mean by that, right? So there's amazing privately owned companies and products that can do a lot of things. When it came to merchant processing in the past, the first person I called was, I would just call my bank. Love all my banks. They're great. But I didn't even think that there was companies that just did that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that for the longest time. Just call my bank, and my banker was cool, because they would say, hey, for this, you might just want to use Stripe or Venmo or whatever it may be, one of the other services. I didn't even know that there was, I was just blown away when it was this whole new world was exposed to me when I figured out that you mean you can shop this? You can actually shop for somebody that's going to give you a great experience that has the same insight and vision as you do for your company, and so on and so forth. I was amazed by that, and I felt like such a fool for a minute, because I'm how in the world did I not know this? Because first thing we did is immediately just change all of our accounts over to RAC, because we can get a better deal.
Exactly. What was interesting, so when I first found out about merchant services, I just found out about high risk and low risk. When I was 20 years old, we started a CBD company, right? So we had to go through, we went on Shopify, because I had no clue how to make another website, so it's easy. So we went on Shopify, which now I don't really like. And I was like, oh, I can't use them. I have to use someone else. So we had add it, which Shopify charged an extra 2%. That's a whole different story. And I was like, okay, that's cool. We got a processor. Boom. And then it was about 2.5 years ago. We're going through numbers. Chris loves saving money, and margin's huge for him. I still deal with it now. He goes, this product's $400 a month. I'm like, yeah, but it saves me hours of time.
Dude,
love you, Chris.
You got to have somebody like that in your life, though, right? How valuable is that?
Oh, he taught me Walmart pickup. Oh my gosh, saved my life. You can get all your stuff from Walmart, just pick it up and go. And it's cheap and good product. Perfect, let's do it. And so he's like, we're paying a lot for merchant processing. And I was like, yeah, I guess a lot of our other clients are too. And he's like, yeah, they are. And Chris, being a brilliant mind he is, he found a company that we could be an agent for and bring our own clients on, help them save money.
Ding, ding, ding.
And I was like, oh, they're getting messed up. I was going to say a bad word, but not doing that. They were going to get messed up with how much they're getting charged. And I was like, wow, they're getting killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we got into it, and we met RAC, and it was cool.
It's kind of a same experience for me, man. I was blown away by it. My wife and I have a great network with a lot of people, and it's just it was a space that I just didn't even know existed, man. I'm sure there's a lot of them still today. That's one of the coolest things about this podcast is people come in and I learn stuff every every episode. I'm just like an audience member at that point in time, or a listener. You know what I'm saying? I learn new stuff all the time. Like I totally get knowledge out of these things. It's incredible. And I get a whole hour with amazing people like you or longer where we just get to talk, man, and get to know each other and build relationships. It's incredible.
Well, I was told when I was 18, it was two things. And one I'm not going to say because I want this thing demonetized. The other part was good. It was learn from everyone's mistakes because
you learn what not to do.
Exactly. Why make the mistakes yourself? You just learn from other people. Like life's short. You better learn real quickly. And that's why I started reading like autobiographies and stuff like that. So that's what I learned very quickly. I was like, okay, let's learn from others' mistakes. Like I sit down with people and I'm like, hey, what was your biggest mistake you ever made? And I learned from that, like what their mistakes was and what would they do differently.
Folks, there's one of the things I learned too from studying so many amazing and having access to so many amazing successful people is what they do and what they're known for is a fraction of what they earn. And it's because it's no different than a movie star endorsing and being on a product, getting paid to film a commercial to promote something. Like ads and affiliate revenue is real. And when you're picking out your vendors and service providers, like just like you guys did, just like you said, like, I bet we can help our clients with this. Now, that's not what your clients came to you for.
Nope.
And that's not what they paid you for.
Nope.
But they still got it.
Exactly. Well, it's if we can save money anywhere, like when we tell people to get off Shopify because they're getting charged $600 a month just for apps. Like we own agency plugins for WordPress. You can pay $30 a month instead of $600. Wouldn't we just be smarter to save that much money?
That's right.
It's like that gives more money to them to go put into their company, add an extra hire, get another VA or something to help with their books. Like it just gives people more leverage to play with.
Gives and a lot of great companies and great people will do more for their communities with that money too, right? So,
exactly.
Everybody can win.
Exactly. And so it's great what you said. It's having those people inside the company that can optimize it. Like, hey, do we have to have this? Can we do this better? Do we need this? Okay, can we try this out? Because I heard this is better. It's more optimizing. We were talking about programs before. As some of them get outdated, right? Because there's so much new tech coming in. Everyone's talking about AI and stuff like that. Which, like, the first question I asked you, is it true AI or is it machine learning? It's a huge difference. And with the times changing, you have to kind of change with it, especially in the tech era. Like, we get calls every week talking about, I was told I need to do this. Do I need to do it? I'm like, no, you don't need to do that. Or you might want to try that, or at least get a presence on it.
It's such a, like, you guys work with such an array. Your portfolio is so awesome and so diverse. You guys are super smart because you learn about all that your clients are doing.
I just learned about medical device sales, like how intense that is and how like in depth it's cool. Like I sat on the phone, like, teach me. I want to learn this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys. So for me. Being a client, like I get the benefit from the knowledge that you guys have gained from working with all your other clients. Like I mean, dude, it's a vast network, and I would challenge all of our folks out there to challenge the people that your vendors and the people that serve you. Like, dude, like if there's people out there that have that knowledge and have that access that can help you, man. It's one of the greatest things. That's where going back to the ad and affiliate money. Yeah, that's what that's all the affiliate monies come from, is from relationships.
Exactly. And talking about relationships, I want to ask you a question.
Come on.
Your wife, how do you meet her?
Oh, that's a great story. So, in college, my off-season job was at a nightclub, the hottest nightclub in town. I just finished college, actually, and that was going to be my off-season job for for baseball, all the baseball seasons. So I started out as just a promo guy, handing out flyers on the corner, but every off-season I did something different until I'd eventually done everything in the bar. So my wife was like, when I first saw her, it was just like, I'll never forget it. I just started working there, and the first night I met her was I took my friends in there for my birthday because I worked at the nightclub. It was cool.
You knew the people?
She was the cocktail waitress that came up and waited on us, and they were all like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Wow." So I immediately showed interest where I was met with none back. And
I have the same story. I was denied 7 times. So,
oh, dude, I asked her out multiple times. She was always trying to hook me up with her friends. My game is so strong. I think the first time that I asked her to spend some time with me was in like 2003, and New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2007 was when I got that like first date, baby.
Oh, there we go. I like that.
Like 5-6 years later. That's all.
So in that case, like you and I were talking about, I asked your audience before this, and you said you have some kids in high school and college. Like, what would be some advice? Like, I would tell my advice that I was told. But I kind of want to hear what your advice would be for someone that's trying to find their person to spend the rest of their life with. So you had such a great family. Met them yesterday, like such a great house. Like, I want to learn kind of what you learned to find that person. So,
first of all, as a new parent, when our son, like, he helped raise us, I think, because both of us were so...
He's a badass, by the way.
Thank you. Me more than my wife. I was still a child, still learning a lot of things. My wife is a superhero. She's a great mom. But like as a parent, I can remember, I only knew the way we did things. I grew up my parents were together until I was in my 30s. So I grew up, I didn't know anything other than mom and dad were at home. I didn't come from a split household. Great childhood, all that great support. They were amazing. But like the way, so all I knew was the way we did everything. And then my wife comes from a totally different culture, and it's unique in its own way, and it's awesome. And it took me a while to learn, when mom or dad somebody would ask why we're doing that with our son, I'm like, well, you got to remember there's a whole nother half of life that is helping raise him that came in. So that was, my wife is rare, man. Like, I don't know if there's another one like her, because like, she don't give me a hard time about anything. Like, never once is like, hey, I'm going to play golf with the boys or whatever. It's like she's as excited about it as I am. And as a matter of fact, most and my friends usually want her to go when like she's included in all that stuff. She's a unicorn, man. But like, and I didn't treat her great for a long time, which is why we made career changes and did a lot of the moves that we did. And the reason is because I never felt like I was like, man, it's just a matter of time before she figures out I'm bogus and bounces. So it was almost like through my own insecurities, I was trying to drag her down to my level so I could keep her, stay in the relationship. So I made a lot of mistakes, dude. The fact that she's still here is unreal. And we were separated for a time.
Really?
After I don't know if a lot of people know that we didn't like separate. We couldn't afford to live in different places, but she was doing her own thing and I was doing mine for a minute. And the thing for both of us, neither one of us could imagine somebody else having influence over our child. And we both found common ground in our faith, and we went and got some. We both found common ground in somebody that could help us. We went to we got help for months and months on end, and we've never looked back since then. But that was 3, 4, 5 years into the relationship. We lived together within weeks after our first like date. So like we did everything backwards. We got married after the first child and so on and so forth. And her family's been nothing but awesome to me. And they probably, after the way I was in the beginning, they probably shouldn't have, but they're fantastic. And, so just my advice would be, one, faith for me, faith mattered. Like that's, having a split household like that, that's incredibly difficult. And she's just always been such a great time and fun and has such a big heart, and she's driven and beautiful in all these different ways. So like for me, it was, you just knew, And the only thing I wish I could change is that I was better in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So, my advice to young people when looking for that thing is you're not in a hurry.
Yeah. Don't
rush it. They used to say there's a lot of fish in the sea there. I mean, dude, I traveled, met a lot of amazing people. The most beautiful thing you've ever seen is only the most beautiful thing you've seen until you see something else somewhere else. It's kind of like, it's just all by reference. But like that person is a partner, and when you bring on a partner, that partner has influence and brings value, and you have to be open to that and compromise. Not compromise what you believe in, but like maybe that's not the right word, but just like, when she does something, I never understand why some parents will want the kid to not like the other parent.
That's weird.
Dude, there's 2 of you.
Yeah.
Right. And like, we all want more time and more things. We all want to do more things and so on and so forth. So like, I'm totally going to stand by my wife's side if my son's like, oh, Mom, I don't want to do that, or disagrees with her. I'm like, dude, like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm always going to take her side, because like, if you don't, like, you're setting yourself up for more work, for problems and everything. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah. It's like, listen to your mom.
That's right.
Oh, my dad said that all the time. Listen to your mom. Like, I will. Well, it's interesting you talk about faith. And one thing I was told was equally yoked. You know what that means?
Yes.
Being equally yoked. And another thing
I just learned a lot of things like cap and no cap. Like they were teaching me last week.
Not yoked in like gym, but like in the yoke of faith.
Yeah.
And it can be faith as in God. It can be spiritual, whatever faith you is. But what it really means is you guys have the same direction, the same type of way of dealing with things in faith. Like, and when I was told it was 18, the same guy told me you can learn from other people. He was like, go on as many dates as you can, go relationships, just do it, and take a notepad on your phone and write down everything you liked and you didn't like. And the first thing I put down was equally yoked, because I learned real quickly, if you guys not have the same faith and the same system and the same way you believed in something, it's not going to work out. And I've seen some people that it has, but my relationships, it never did. Like, grew up in a different way. Like, I love Kaylee's parents to death. Like, I call her dad more, I think she does.
That's cool.
And so seeing like her family background, knowing her parents and knowing my parents, like they grew us the same way, and it was very family focused. And so it's another thing I put in there. Like, I've known my girlfriend since I was 15. She turned me down multiple times and then told me no to be my girlfriend, and no 7 times, and then finally said yes. So it's the persistency of years of going, and it came a long time. That was a really good advice I was given, was just figure out what you liked and didn't like and go find that person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, I'm extremely blessed. My wife's amazing. We love spending time together. We share an office, not because we have to, right? That's just the way that we do things. When I go do stuff fun, like when I'm hanging out with my friends, well, I want her there.
Yeah.
Like, and my friends probably like her more than me at this point. Everybody does. And that's okay.
And people are like, can you bring her? Like, as a work event, she goes, do I have to go? I'm like, well, they kind of requested you, so you kind of have to go now.
That's right. Well, dude, it's the best. I was going to ask you, I've over the years, I've interviewed a lot of kids. I call them kids, young adults that are just out of college.
Yeah.
Most of them are totally lost with a massive identity crisis because they've been a student for 20 years, and now they're like, now what? And they got to find out what they're going to do. And you're 23 years old, and the last 10, 23-year-olds I met, dude, they hate their job. They have no money. They're broke. They have no vision. They have no forecast. They have no nothing. They're still trying to figure it out. And most of the time when they're doing that, they're hanging out with the wrong people, and they're not taking care of themselves health-wise. And so they're gaining weight. They're getting unhealthy, like all those things. You're 23 years old. You're freaking killing it. What advice would you have for the 18 to 23-year-old it's time to kick off life, dude? Going
to preschool, my mom told me, you are who you hang around with. Remember that. And so that's the biggest thing, because you are who you surround yourself with, right?
Yep.
Like, I saw an image the other day. It was a person wearing like just regular t-shirts and jeans, and the top image, people around them were wearing suits, and then the person became wearing a suit. The image below, guys wearing jeans, t-shirt, guys were kind of baggy, just looked like raggy. He became raggy too, and so that's a big thing. The next part is just see what you like. Like, it's the same with dating. Go date. Go do different jobs. Go do different things. Kind of learn what you like.
That's right.
And then you'll kind of just fall into it.
That's right.
And there's no rush to it.
Because everybody's their own unique person.
Exactly. Like, your parents might be saying, do become this. Might not want to be that. Like, you might want to be doing, like, you might want to be a video gamer. You might want to be a programmer. Like, just do it. And what you love to do, make money doing it.
That's right. That's strong. Well, dude, outside of any type of web needs, any type of needs, online, digital, you guys, CRM development, whatever it may be, FleekSleek, you guys are the ones to do it, folks. Once again, tech entrepreneur Michael Gombert is in the Hit Lab with me today, and michaelgombert.com/links is how you can follow him on social. FleekSleek.com. You can check out their services and everything they're doing, as well as RACFinancial.com, RAC, R-A-C, financial.com, where if you got questions, like, folks, if you haven't shopped your credit card processing, you need to call old Michael over here. You need to call old Michael over here because he brings the good news.
It's a great call.
And and it's a good time too. And then you get to hang out with Chris, Reggie, and the rest of the team. You guys are just doing an amazing job. The team's fantastic. You guys should be proud. Like, you got life by the balls, dude. Like, seriously, you're whooping life's behind at 23 years old. The sky's the limit for y'all. I hope you understand. Like, I mean, I've been on hero to broke multiple times, and the last time, like, in my early 30s. So, like, dude, you're killing it.
Appreciate it. Means a lot.
Is there anything else that you would want to leave our folks with before we bring this sucker to a close?
Have fun. Just smile.
I like that. I like that a lot. Well, folks, once again, tech entrepreneur Michael Gombert, michaelgombert.com/links, FleekSleek.com, RACFinancial.com. Check them out. You'll want to listen to this episode over and over and over again because there's so many. He added so many hits to the hit streak, so much knowledge from social media to learn how to leverage all the types of data in your business's life, right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate having me.
But dude, thanks again. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you folks. He came all the way from Arizona we're going to do some other stuff too. But
let's do it. I'm excited for this dinner tonight. You guys are hyping it up, and then let's go see Broadway.
Let's do it.
In my hotel room, there's a sign, and like I was especially seeing your cigars yesterday. I not really want one. It says cigar bar. Took a picture of it. Sent my girlfriend. I was like, they have a map to my favorite place.
That's right.
So I'm excited for that.
That's right. Well, dude, thanks again so much for hanging. It was a good time as expected, right?
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'd love to come back.
We'll do that for sure.
Let's do it.
We'll do that for sure. Well, folks, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Hit Streak. I am your man, Nick Hyder. God bless.